Contest of speed.
Contest of speed.
Contest of speed.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Contest of Speed. We're back here for round 10 in the trio of the final 3 races of the season. This is Singapore. We're here for round 10, as I mentioned. And let's take a look at the track map. Got street circuit lined up for tonight in the streets of Singapore. 4.940 kilometers, 19 turns, 3 DRS zones, very short DRS zones, tricky to overtake. Very narrow track, and being a street circuit, we're expecting probably a few collisions out there. Having a couple issues with the stream deck tonight, so it is going to be slightly interesting to see how I can manage to pull this off. I'm going to be trying to troubleshoot those and figure them out throughout this race, but that being said, I'll do what I can with what I've got. Let's see here, pull the chat back up. Welcome everybody. No Sean Boy with me tonight. Unfortunately, Sean Boy is out of town for some work stuff. But you know, still got me, so that's fun. All right, back to your menu. Let's get that. All right, let's see who could be the first driver on. Bit of a flyer. We got a Haas coming across the line. That's actually Red Arrow, who did set the fast lap already. He set a flyer, and he's on provisional pole 128.3. Got, like I mentioned, 3 rounds to go in this championship here in AM2. It's been a close season so far between quite a few drivers, quite a few constructors. Let's take a look if we can. It's obviously increasingly difficult without my stream deck working right now. Get these standings up here. So there we go. Their drivers championship as of the last round in the Chinese Grand Prix. We've got Orlando leading the championship now by 15 or so points over M1K, who's actually not here tonight. So big opportunity for Orlando to put some distance on his closest rival as we go into the final 2 races. But Speedy Bullet and his teammate DK Nortec rounding out the second row of the championship. Sauber's looked very strong so far in Chipman, just behind them at 79 points. And then Red Arrow is in 6th. There you have your top 3 constructors, as we mentioned. Meta Kestrel is the first non-Haas McLaren, our Sauber driver, in those top positions. He's P7 with 49 points, having a pretty decent outing last week, getting P3. And after that, Hysteria, AO, and Tin Man round out your top 10. Let's take a look quickly, if we can, to the constructor standings. As you can see, oh, this is that's AM1. Okay, well, I can tell you that McLaren is actually leading the constructor standings, so that's not correct. Ferrari is not leading the AM2 championship, and as we were talking there, a couple more laps have come in. There's P2, Williams 3 and 4, the VCarb 5 and 6. Mr. Bow is in P7. Last driver set a lap, and we're on board with AO now. Coming through, DK Nortec sets a 28.3 for the provisional pole through the second last corner. Now we go. Ayo is sitting P3 in his Mercedes. Pretty well done there. Let's see if we can get the cost chat open. Yeah, this is gonna be a mess tonight. Unless I can get them to just hold off in between qualifying and the race, so I can restart everything. But it's still gonna be a mess. Um, yeah, gonna be an interesting one tonight to say the least. Let's see. I think Orlando is on his out lap. Let's check in with the championship leader. He is the man who has uh everything to gain this week. Honestly, he's got a good opportunity. As mentioned, M1K, his closest rival, is out of this race, not showing up tonight. Only 15 drivers tonight. Actually, one of our lowest attended races of the season, but that is to be expected at a track like Singapore. So I'm just opting to not go for this one, and I can understand why at the end of the day. Here comes Orlando now then to start his first flying lap. Let's jump on board with the McLaren driver now. Ooh, that is the wrong button. What is the right button? There we go. A little bit of a lock up there. That's okay. It sounds like a bit of a lock up. Here he goes through this different section now, which used to be a little bit. Oh no, sorry, we're not quite there yet. We're at 11 now. Ah, we're just about to get to that different section. Keeping it pretty tidy there, getting close to the wall, but not quite touching it. Team Orlando is in the chat tonight supporting their driver, as usual, right down near the 100 meter board. And he gets a purple sector there as well. Across the line now does Orlando. It's going to be a provisional pole lap there. 128.131. Red Arrow managed to improve his lap as well. He is doing pretty well, but Orlando gets the first fastest lap, and Speedy coming through his flying now. Get it's working here. Just past that halfway mark in qualifying now, so still a few drivers yet to set a lap. Chipman as well has yet to set a lap. Let's see where he's at on track. He is invalidated. He's just behind the Sauber we're on board with right now. Ooh, yeah, that's good. Here we go. Jump back on board with Speedy here. This is the different Sector 3 where now it's just a full-on straight compared to the twisty turny bit that it used to be. Personally prefer this layout myself, and Speedy takes pole position away from those drivers ahead. 28-0. Those numbers are annoying. The turns? Orlando is flagged out of the session. Chipman's returned to the pits. Electric entree on his outlap. Those turn numbers are annoying. Oh, I mean, it helps me because sometimes I just wonder where they're at. This is the Singapore sling. Don't you want to know? And this is turn 11. This is turn 12. It's helping everybody out. Finding our way. That's the bridge. See, now you're lost without the turn numbers, devil. Trey's one of the last drivers yet to set their lap. They're just winding it up now. See, AO is in P5. Looks like he's just kind of taking it easy on another warm-up lap himself. Red Arrow sitting nicely in P3 there. It's a very close fight between those top 4 drivers for that pole position as it stands. So we're in for a treat coming the end of this session. I'm very annoyed that the stream deck is... Oh, wait a second. Maybe it is working. There's just a couple of them that aren't. I'm so very confused. Okay, well, I guess we do have some things working on here. Let's see. Like, does this work? Oh, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. Doesn't work. 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 But the positions work. Okay. Very strange things happening here with technology. What about this? This works. What about this? No. What about this? Very, very strange things. Can someone invite Orlando? Of course someone can invite Orlando. I was wondering if Chipman was going to get him, but let me see if I can get him in. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? There it is. Speedy is your man on pole right now. Looks like Red Arrow could be trying to take that away, though. He's red. Through that sector there, Orlando's managed to get in. Thank you, Gordon Ramsay, for letting me know he needed the invite. Asteria's gotten himself back in as well. Yeah, I saw Orlando left, but I saw Chipman going to the pit, so I figured that those two would be coordinating the invite back, and I wouldn't have to watch stream, but I've got him in. Chipman is also on the lap now. The McLaren last driver to not settle lap. Let's see what he can do here. This is quite irritating what's going on with stream deck. So everything that's OBS related, not working for me. It's all Red Devil's fault. I agree. He's the one that messed up my OBS stream deck. There's an OBS update, and I'm wondering if that messed up everything. Asteria has retired from the session in pit lane. Mr. Bo is on an L lap, obviously. Let's see what Chipman can do here. It's such an odd camera angle where it doesn't even look at them. He is purple second sector, but for some reason I'm not getting the proper lap timing coming up here at the bottom of that corner. Goes Chipman setting the fastest lap, purple second sector, purple overall, and he's dropped the margin by a good 0.8 of a second there. Holy smokes. That is some fast lap there. Nicely done by Chipman. The Red Arrow and DK Nortec are the other owners of some fastest sectors. Arrow is just behind the McLaren now. Going through the left-hander. Turn 10, turn 11, turn 12. Now into 13. Across the bridge. He's got that McLaren ahead of him. Peels off to the side. Leaves on the green track. He is in the green first sector. He's 6/10 off of Chipman in P1 right now, but that could still be enough to snag P2 if he hooks it up for this final sector. This is going to be Red Arrow's final attempt because there's no time left on the clock to get around again and start another lap. There's no time to get some fresh tires in, so what's it going to be for the Haas driver? On the outside looking in of this top group of championship, but he still has some chance to move up the order, and he does get into P2 with a 1:28.030. Pretty good lap to jump in front of all those ahead of him, but they're all going to have a chance to respond now, and it looks like Orlando is going to be the first one to do that. He's coming across the line now to start his final flying lap with 1 minute left to go in qualifying. He's got about a tenth and a bit to find jump ahead of Red Arrow. Chipman is done with his qualifying, but he's got to 8/10 to find to jump ahead of his teammate here. And track position, all important here in Singapore, especially with how difficult it is to overtake. It's a very difficult race. Chipman is setting a pretty quick lap time here because Orlando has 2/10 down on his margin. So we've got the 2 Saubers coming after Orlando as well. Let's check in with those guys. Orlando's going to be coming across that second sector split now, so we'll get an idea of where he's finished. Remember, Chipman, his second sector was really where he lit up the circuit. He is actually 8/10 away from Chipman. He is fighting to stay level with Speedy Bullet and a Red Arrow. If he can find something in his final sector, it's going to help him out a ton, but he is on the brink here of starting P4. Through the final 2 corners here we go. Final real corner and then just a little kink to finish it off. He does split Red Arrow and Speedy Bullet there at the 1:28.0 mark, but those Saubers are coming across the line soon and they are going to have a chance to respond. Speedy Bullet with a green middle sector, marginally down on his lap time on the first sector though, with a yellow first sector. There we go. And that is a P2 reclaim for Speedy Bullet. DK Nortec gonna have a chance now, and he's P3. What is AO gonna do now? He's coming across the line. Pretty solid qualifying session for the Mercedes so far in P6. Maybe not be able to gain any positions, but he does solidify his P6 start with that lap. Full flat top, another driver yet to cross the line. He's coming into the pits, electric entree, also yet to cross the line. Oh, I'm sorry, Potty, I know. I'm just one man. I didn't realize the poll was up for 30 minutes when I made it. I'm all on my own tonight, and nothing is working, so that's just lovely. Oh boy. So that's going to be qualifying here for the third to last round of the season 15. We've got Chipman on pole for McLaren. We got Saubers just immediately behind him. Speedy Bullet leading that team there. DK Nortec at P3. Then we got Red Arrow P4. Pretty solid qualifying for him there. Saubers just finding a little bit more at the very end of that session, but did very well to put himself ahead of the championship leader, who is in P5 here. He has a bit of work to do to make up some track position and a little bit more jeopardy down there in P5, but I'm sure he's staying calm. Down in P6 we got to AO, Metakestrel P7, ASAP Loggy P8, Witch P9, and Hysteria P10. That rounds out your top 10 starters for tonight. Sure to have a pretty interesting race to come, so stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Contest to Speed.
Contest of speed.
Contest of
The
speed.
contest of speed.
welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Perfect timing here. We're ready for the race start. And it's all green here in Singapore, and the rain is coming down, ladies and gentlemen. If you did not see that, it is raining here in Singapore. We're diving into turn 1. Chipman's going to keep that lead. And we got Speedy Bullet and DK Nortec just tucked in behind. It's very treacherous there, just crawling out of turn 1s, 2, and 3. You see Red Arrow trying to hang on. Oh, he's sliding, going into the long straight here with the DRS. Not available, obviously, in the rain and on lap 1. But a little bit of chaos already. And Red Arrow has managed to maintain P4. He's looking in his mirrors, though, as Orlando, the championship leader, is tucked in right behind him. Very clean start from the top 5. And everybody in the field, as looks like Jay's left the session. Gars ghosting, and 7th Flame down in the Haas in P15. The reserve driver, we got a yellow flag. That's Electric Entree, I think. Managed to find the barrier, and a broken left end plate for the Ferrari driver here on lap 1. Jump ahead to Mr. Bo, P11. He's definitely a ghosted driver at the moment. We've got Wiche also in the ghost mode, so those drivers probably going to be asking here for an invite very momentarily, but back up to the lead. Chitman from Speedy from Nortec. See the weather forecast there. We are expecting light rain for 15 minutes now. The chance is decreasing as the race goes on. But yeah, gonna be a wet one here in Singapore, and that is gonna make this race very long, very treacherous on the intermediate tires, crucially at this point. So not the full wet compound. And we'll see what Chipman sets here coming across the line. The first lap is gonna be a 1:46.895, so that's roughly what? 15 to 18 seconds off their pole time earlier. We are running quite a bit slower than we were in qualifying, and the top 5 is already starting to break away from AO, who is forming his own little train behind them. And then the third train in the group is forming behind ASAP Loggy, so a little bit of a gap forming here. Just gonna try to find where's my controller so I can get some invites sent out to it's Wiche and Mr. Bo who needed some invites here. I don't know why I'm getting lag here. This is absolutely mental. Oh, Wiche. There he is. Mr. Bo. I don't think I have Mr. Bo. Unfortunate for him. Anyways, back to the action. Wiche's joined the session. Getting back into his car here momentarily. Sulfat Top trying to take advantage of that ghosted Aston Martin ahead of him, but not able to do so. See, it's all very calm here out in front. Chipman just trying to guide his Papaya McLaren safely around this circuit. Easier said than done. It is a night race, it is a street circuit, and it is also raining. So, just got all 3 of the trifectas here. 1:43 coming across the line that time, so they are picking up the pace here throughout the second and third laps. Why is it so laggy? And we do have a 3-way fight in constructors. It is very difficult now for Haas to keep in that fight, considering their front-running man is not in this race tonight, but lots can happen. You can see Speedy Bullet and DK Nortec looking pretty strong there, and some formation flying. Back to Speedy Bullet's actually breaking away from DK Nortec here and leaving him in the dust a little bit. DK is going to want to close in as much as possible. Just going to check something here because I feel like something's going on. Some very strange stuff is happening. Mr. Bo sent me a friend request. Thank you, sir. Where is he now? There he is. There we go. Hopefully that'll get him back into the session. Hopefully we can catch some overtaking here. Let's jump back to Hysteria. He is leading this pack. Mr. Bo's back in the session. Speedy's actually setting the fastest lap. Chasing down that McLaren. Ford with the Aston Martin here. Looking off the rear wing. Going through turn 1 and 2. He's got that Casual Company AO back there. Excuse me. Had to sneeze a few times there. My apologies. Ooh, Speedy Bullet is really closing in on Chipman here. Trying to pick his lines through these corners here to get an advantage on the exit. Rocking the Max Verstappen helmet in the Sauber. Just flinging it around those corners. He doesn't really care too much about the sliding, it looks like. Very tricky over that bridge there to nail your braking point. And here we go down the straight. He's going to have a bit of an opportunity. But looks like Chipman gets that decent traction on the corner. Actually pulls up to half a second away down that straight. He's getting that exit where it counts and speed where he needs it. Speedy was within a tenth going in that lap, but going in out of that DRS straight previously on this lap. But Chipman managing that gap. Lando also doing a pretty good job here, managing the gap with the red arrow. He knows he's in that top group. That's all he needs to be doing at this point. Sticking around, keeping company to those guys ahead, and not taking too many risks. But as we say that, look up ahead. Speedy Bullet is taking the lead from the McLarens into turn 1. Looks like in the forecast we are going to be seeing potentially some dry weather eventually. With the lap time being so slow, I would expect that wet weather to be dry weather to get here at some point. We have our second leader of the night then, Speedy Bullet, taking the lead from Chipman, our pole sitter, after 5 laps of chasing him down. And now what's that going to mean for DK Nortec? He is closing in. You can see a dry line forming out on the circuit. From the helicopter cam here, great overhead view of the battle for the win, for the top 5, as it has been for most of the season. These guys keeping each other some good company. Looking down the field now, Hysteria and Meta also keeping each other good company. And this is the battle for P8 with AO leading this particular train. ASAP Locky with Jay behind him. McRib not too far behind, and there's the other V-Carb just in the picture there. Slow flat top, trying to come to terms with those ahead of him, get involved in this battle with his teammate. And Speedy Bullet actually pulling up almost a second this lap. Same lap that he has overtaken for the lead on. Coming across the line now, and look at that, he's down the road where Chipman was leading at this point up until now, last lap. Speedy Bullet has found some pace here in the wet. I wonder if that's setup related, or if he's kind of gotten just a groove in the weather. There is your first 3-second time penalty coming on. That's actually going to be very hurtful to Red Arrow. He's in P4 right now, having a brilliant race, really solid qualifying as well. That's the last thing he would have wanted, being all alone tonight without his teammate. Still putting in a pretty good effort here on track. See if he can keep it clean for the rest of the race, because it is a long one. And no guarantees that no one else will get one for the rest of this contest. This is massive for Sauber Championship. Yes. You know what else is massive? Yeah, for those who are wondering, since I could not get the proper standings to display on the screen earlier, we've got Sauber only 1 point behind McLaren coming into this race tonight, and then Haas is about to 20 points behind those two teams there. But as Pablo said, it was last week a 5 point close for Sauber compared to McLaren. They closed in 5 points on McLaren ahead to come within 1 point of the leading constructor, and it is going to be all to play for here. Sauber 1 and 3 and McLaren 2 and 4, so pretty interesting storyline to follow here for throughout the rest of this race. The constructors battle is well and truly alive here in AM2, and looks like, as I mentioned there, 2 and 4 for McLaren, so that means that Orlando has gotten past Red Arrow after that 3-second time penalty, and boy did he need to, because look at that slight gap to DK Nortec ahead. Orlando needs to get himself involved in this battle to keep on the fight, and look at that, as we look away, DK Nortec pulls a blinder on Chipman through a part of the track you would not particularly expect, but here we go, DK Nortec and Speedy pulling up a 1-2. Gentlemen working very well together. Couple interviews with him through the middle point of the season, and you can tell the vibes were through the roof. Confidence is through the roof for this Sauber team, and look at that. Just as soon as DK Nortec got through Chipman, he's pulled 0.3 of a second of McLaren behind, and Chipman may be struggling now because Orlando is also closing in when he had about a 2-second margin to his teammate behind. As I said that though, DK Nortec is losing a bit of touch to his teammate now. Hysteria is the fastest man on track. Check in with the Aston Martin driver, who's finding some pace now. And looks like that rain is significantly reduced. In fact, that rain has stopped. On board with the Aston Martin driver here. Look at that. Completely bone dry out there already. So wondering what kind of pit strategies are going to be coming out here. And look at that. 13th, Witche already in the pits. Electric Entree in 14th. Already out of the pits on the mediums. Hysteria is gaining, and he's gaining very quickly on those intermediate tires. Somehow he managed to find the pace now. Take a look. Leaderboard here. Tire temperatures could be interesting to see. Oh, there we go. Oh yeah, Speedy's rear tires are really starting to cook up now, and that could be why Hysteria is having so much pace. His tires are the ones that are staying pretty cool right now. Red Arrow's rear is cooking as well. Wow. Electric Entree also, at least on those mediums, he's just heating up those front tires now, but really see how those cooler tire temps are paying off for Hysteria now. He's setting some fast laps. Hysteria coming into the pits may have gone a little bit deep there on the entry. And we got the McLarens into the pits as well. They're trying to pull the undercut on the Saubers ahead, who have stayed out. This is very interesting in the grand scheme of the championship here. As we've mentioned, 1 point between these two teams here, and all 4 drivers are performing to their top level tonight, and different strategies are coming out. The track seems to have dried quicker than anticipated. That has forced the hand of McLaren. They think that now is the time to come into the pits, while Sauber electing to stay out, keep that track position, not wanting to give it up and go for the early pit stop. They're hoping though that they have enough gap where they McLaren start pushing pretty hard on that outlap, that they can cover them off if they have to coming into the pits this time. That being said, the McLarens did double stack. And that has cost Orlando a few positions. He's back behind Red Arrow. He's back behind Hysteria, who, mind you, was never really in that conversation at one point. He started putting on some flying laps towards the end of his intermediate stint. But look at this. What is Sauber going to do now? They surely are going to lose probably one position based off the undercut to McLaren, I would say. Considering that they have to double stack, one of them will either get screwed over in the double stack or get screwed over by having to stay out one more extra lap. Speedy Bullet is your leader here. Let's see. Is he going to dive into the pits? Yes, he is. He comes into the pits. And going behind the DK Nortec, he elects to stay out. So is this going to pay off for Sauber? We can see that is DK Nortec going around. Speedy Bullet is in the pits. Let's jump on board with the lead McLaren now as he's coming around the circuit while the Sauber is stationary in the pit lane getting his service done. Just a few more corners to go here for Orlando on the hard, or sorry, Chipman on the hard compound tire. Coming around the final corners now. ZZZ Speedy is kept going through the pit lane, and he's come out ahead of Chipman there. So that one paying off very well for Sauber there. One car done, but mind you, he was the leader. That being said, DK Nortec setting purple sector there out in the intermediate tires, staying one extra lap, really pushing hard here. He's got a ton of ERS that he has just been waiting to use. DK Nortec has his work cut out for him to keep the Sauber 1-2 after the pit sequence here, and this could satisfy the pit stops for the entire race. Lots of drivers opting for that hard tire with 21 laps to go. Few drivers opting for the mediums. We'll see if these drivers can make it to the end. I believe the hard should be able to. Pablo saying one Sauber should have pit, now they're going to have to double stack. I mean, they couldn't react because McLaren was both behind them. I think they made the right call here, and obviously Speedy having a 5-second gap. This could potentially work out for DK Nortec as well. I expect him to lose a little bit of time to his teammate, but I expect him to slot out in between those two guys there, Chipman and Speedy. Oh, bouncing over the curbs there, but not fully over the track limits. Still 2 tires over the white line. DK Nortec is in the pits, leading 1 lap, staying out 1 lap longer than his teammate did. But let's see what this means here. Speedy Bullet coming around. DK Nortec in the pits with a 2.3 second stop. Very tidy there from the Sauber team. Having lots of issues in real life F1 with the pit stops. Here comes Speedy Bullet. Is the undercut worked or has the overcut paid off? Chipman setting the fastest lap. And looks like Speedy Bullet has overtaken his teammate after pitting 1 lap sooner, but very well done from DK Nortec there. He's 1.5 behind his teammate now, and Chipman still 3.2 behind him. So pretty smart plays there from Sauber to not to lose any time with the double stack and make the right call at the right time. That is cost McLaren honestly quite significantly here. Chipman, who was closing in on that pack, or with that pack when they decided to make the undercut, lost 3 seconds in Orlando. He's back in P5 now. DRS is now enabled, ladies and gentlemen. DRS is now enabled, and that is going to be a benefit here for Metakestrel, who was behind Orlando there in the DRS section. I'm not sure if it was available. Ooh, look at that! The first time that he had DRS, the extra speed going into that turn caught him off surprise, and he nicked the wall there. Let's take a look. Williams looking like better than if Logan Sargent was driving it, let's say that. Speedy Bullet setting fastest lap. Oh, Speedy Bullet getting a 3-second time penalty. That's our second driver tonight with the time penalties, I believe. Look at that, Speedy Bullet and Red Arrow. Both drivers in the top 5, both drivers with 3-second time penalties. That could be huge for the championship. Speedy Bullet is your leader, but that 3-second attached to his name coming on later in the race, is that going to haunt him? Still got plenty of laps to go. Plenty of opportunities to pick up more warnings. Chipman, oh, controller disconnected. That is okay. What is going on? Brother. Classic. So the first little bit of this race, excitement kind of fizzled out. Now the gaps are starting to form, people starting to find their places. Chipman is on the hunt though from DK Nortex. We'll have to keep our eyes on that. And we got a yellow flag. And that's a full safety car, actually a virtual safety car deployed. So first time we've seen a yellow track tonight. The PSC is deployed. Cat, are you gonna come in my room? Or are you gonna give us? Okay, good. DK not cooking tonight? I am not cooking tonight, bro. It is nothing is working. I don't know what happened with all my stuff, but I don't even use a controller, dog. Like, Red Arrow is in the pits. Oh boy, what happened to Red Arrow? He's on the hard tire. And it's a nose change for Red Arrow. Oh no. Electric Entree's out of the session, opting to retire. And I know one man who is particularly pleased that this is not a full safety, and that is CZG Speedy. He is in the lead. Safety car VSC ending now. He's got that 3-second time penalty, that name. Oh no, we got more penalties. Which a drive through. What else do we got here? Drive through for McRib, also drive through for 7th Flame, so 3 drive throughs from the safety car there. Boys are getting a little too excited for that restart and jumping the gun there. But I think we've got a battle now for P2 because look at this. PSC kind of benefiting Chipman. He got a better jump off the restart. He's now right with DK Nortec. And it's a McLaren 3 and 4 on track. Boys opting to go a little bit sooner on those tires. Didn't pay off for them, but they have clawed their way back. At least Chipman has. Orlando has clawed his way back up 2 positions as well. 4.3 seconds behind. Whoa! Big slide there for DK Nortec. Pablo saying, Entree selling my line. Entree says, brother, I took the under. Bro is selling himself. Entree, I feel you, dog. I feel you. This is not a, not the best track for us fellers. It is a very particular track, I guess you could say, street circuit, and yeah. That's all I'll say there. Oh, DK Nortec. Not sure if he had a moment there, Orlando did, but they both took very different lines there. It looked like more of a twitch for DK as Chipman took a nice smooth wide line through that corner. And DK definitely feeling a bit of pressure here. He dropped away from his teammate, but that could also all be tactics, mind you. Very difficult to overtake here. DK Nortec's teammate has a 3-second time penalty, and these guys are locked in a 1-point difference championship battle against those 2 drivers behind them. I am sure they're doing everything they possibly can to try to get as many points as possible, including using DK Nortec as a bit of a shield to prevent the McLarens from closing in to 3 seconds gap to Speedy Bullet. It is a absolute massive risk for DK Nortec, but Speedy Bullet is setting fastest laps. He's pushing on as hard as he can. And is that the strategy here for the Saubers? There we go. Orlando setting a fastest lap, and I think that it is because that gap was about 4 seconds for Orlando to close in on, and he's closed in 2 seconds that lap. Let's take a look at the last lap times. Last lap times. There we go. So 1:37.8 for Speedy Bullet. He set the fastest lap coming across the line. 1:38.3 for DK. And a 1:38.1 for Chipman. But then look at that. 1:36.699 for Orlando. 1.1 seconds over the man in P1. And he is on an absolute charge right now. Orlando continuing to set purple sectors here. Closing in on his teammate. Now within DRS, actually. And now, DK Nortech's managed to keep his cool in a straight up 1 against 1 against Chipman, but now it's going to be 2 against 1 as Orlando approaches, but he's bought his teammate some good amount of gap. Oh, Orlando really extending the track limits there through the final corner, getting the fastest lap, but man, I'm not sure how that's that's allowed. That is very far off the track limits there. Ooh, he's sliding through the first corner. FIA must have been blind there, seeing him go through track limits and still awarding him a clean fastest lap. But this is gonna be a dogfight. Red Arrow sitting the fastest lap. He's trying to close back in and salvage whatever race he possibly can now. Chipman also actually extending track limits there. Take a look at the penalties and warnings again. You can see Orlando has picked up 2 of those warnings. Chipman also up to 1 now. DK up to 2 as well. So yeah, it is all these guys are pushing very hard now. Make no mistake, they are really gunning for this because it is it's coming down to the wire here at the end of the season. We got only 3 races left, only so many points to give out, and with the gaps being so close, it is absolutely crucial to get the most of it. And here we go, wheel-to-wheel action. Chipman on the inside of DK Nortech. They managed to keep it clean and leave a good car's width on the outside for Chipman there, and that is very solid racing between the McLaren and the Sauber ahead. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It's lap 17 of 31. Things are starting to kick off here. Gap is 6.5 to the leader from DK Nortech, but CZG Speedy has that 3-second time penalty, and DK Nortech playing a huge team game here for the overall Constructors Championship, trying to give Speedy Bullet a chance to maintain his position despite having a 3-second time penalty to his name. And he's doing very well there to weather the storm. Didn't defend the inside line. He was confident that he could hold it around the outside and have the inside for the next corner. He did just that. Very smooth driving there from the Sauber, but he's gonna have another DRS run or 2 or 3 throughout this next lap. They're all pretty short runs. I'd say on the exit of turn 5 is his best chance, which is what we just saw there on the previous lap. So here we go again. Lap 18 now. It is DK Nortech leading Chipman and Orlando across the line, P2 to P4, all within DRS of one another. And here we go, down into turn 5 now. As we mentioned before, the DRS straight here where Chipman is going to have the best opportunity is coming up. And look at that, DK Nortech pulling out a 6/10 gap before they get to the DRS opening point, and that is going to buy him just enough time Chipman is going to be absolutely no threat going into turn 6. Sorry, I guess that's turn 7, because a mini kink down the straight is turn 6. Let's check in with another battle here. I think there's a few cars all together there. Who is this? Metakestrel P5? That's a Haas of 7th Flame, who is blue flagged, involved in that little tussle as well. And then just behind them is this Hysteria. So the Haas would be better off to kind of get out of the way here. Despite coasting being on, it is always best etiquette to obey the blue flags. There we go. Those gentlemen are clear to proceed on with their fight now. Metakestrel holding off Hysteria for P5. And anytime that there's a driver not in Sauber, McLaren, or Haas in the top 6, they're doing pretty dang good. There's always going to be an opportunity tonight for one driver with M1K out of the session, but Red Arrow having a bit of wing damage, another opportunity for another driver, and ASAP Loggy and Metakestrel and Hysteria have taken advantage of that tonight. Let's go on with DK Nortec now. He's going through turn 5 yet again, and Chipman is much closer this time, only 0.2 of a second compared to his 0.6 that he had last time. He has much less room for error here, and he's going to go with the same strategy. Hold the outside line, brake late, carry that speed, and it is the right move there. You can see how much more exit speed he has over over Chipman, and fair play to the McLaren. Not running it deep into that corner and forcing his opponent off track. He wants to make this move done in a clean way. And that's probably the most impressive thing about the championship so far, is just the respect that's been shown on track between these drivers. Despite being such a close fight, it has not boiled over the limit yet, and that it can all change very quickly, but these guys have done a very good job keeping it very clean so far into the season. Here we go. Not a DRS straight, but a very good opportunity considering how long this straight is for Chipman. He's tucked in right behind, and he's looking just to stay as close as possible here as you go through the final sector of lap 19. Speedy just starts lap 20 now with a 7-second gap behind. DK Nortec doing everything in his power to fight for this Constructors Championship. It takes a team to win something like this, especially when your opponents are both working together. It is very difficult to do it on your own. So look at this, we're in for a treat. These top 2 teams, all the top 4 in tonight's race, with 1 point between them for 3 races to go. It is all on the line here. Started out wet, but now it's all dried out, and it's gloves are off. Ooh, a bit of a wide moment there for DK Nortec, and that's actually going to let Chipman on the inside in a part of a track where he hasn't been alongside yet, but he doesn't get that move done. DK Nortec doing very good to defend it, or does he? Because Chipman does pull all the way ahead now. Oh my goodness, right as we are about to go across the bridge. Great move from the McLaren there, and finally McLaren has found its way through, and that is huge for the Constructors Championship. 6-point swing when there's only 1 point to give is big stuff there. So sorry, yeah, I guess it's 6 point, 18 to 15. Yeah. Ooh. Is DK Nortec gonna be able to respond now to Chipman? He's under threat from Orlando now, being in that McLaren sandwich. Best thing that he can do now is just try to hang on, not have 2 McLarens between him and his teammate. Chipman is going to be without that DRS now. Has that clean air to his advantage, so DK Nortec having to adjust to driving in the dirty air of the McLaren, sitting looking at that rear wing. Is he going to be able to find any opening now? This difficult track to overtake. Oh no! Chipman spun around! DK Nortec had to dodge him, and that's given the position to Orlando, but that is huge moment there for Chipman, who spun all the way around and dropped down a few positions. Chipman, who was in P2 at the time, having a huge moment there on the exit, turn 4. No wing damage, as pointed out there by Pablo, but that has lost him some considerable time, and Orlando has lost his wingman in this fight against DK Nortec. That being said, Orlando is the championship leader and probably no better man to take on that fight. But look at that absolute exit that Orlando had. I don't know if that was a bit of a mistake from DK Nortec or Orlando just flying out of the corner, but he gained 5/10 just out of that corner alone. Oh my goodness, DK Nortec is sliding around the track. Does he have damage here? Because he's lost the place to a back mark. He's dropped 2 seconds off Orlando now. And that is just completely unleashed Orlando to chase down Speedy Bullet. That gap is 8 seconds, but mind you, he only needs to close in 5 seconds to take advantage of that 3-second time penalty. The Sauber head. We're just rounding 10 laps to go, and championship is changing every lap now for the constructors. Orlando is going to be looking desperately to maintain P2 at least, if not to climb up to P1, because his closest rival isn't here tonight. He is doing everything that he can to seal out that Drivers' Championship, but the Constructors is still completely wide open, with the Sauber scoring more points as it stands. DK Nortec surely going to be kicking himself a little bit about that one, losing a little bit of time, or honestly a heap of time to Orlando over just a short period of time. I'm not sure what happened there. It looked like after that moment from Chipman, he kind of got a little bit flustered and just lost some pace. But sure he'll be kicking himself. But all he can do now is focus on his fight, and that fight is with Chipman behind. Oh, that's unfortunate. That was a very exciting battle there for a little bit, and yeah, what is going to entertain us now for the next 10 or so laps? Oh my goodness, yellow flag came out when I said that, and I thought I just cursed that, but luckily, whoever having the little moment there getting going again, I think it was a V-carb, not 100% sure. Speedy Bullet did set the fastest lap previously, but Orlando managing to find a good second on his rival here tonight. Speedy Bullet in P1, Orlando in P2. 7 seconds behind. He's chopped off a second though, and got his work cut out for him with 8 laps to go. But remember, that 3-second time penalty could come into play here. Looks like AO is closing in on ASAP Loggy ahead. Mercedes driver in P9 currently chasing down P8. ASAP Loggy peeling into the pits. That is going to release the Mercedes driver, and the only battle that we had on track has vanished. So, how's everybody doing tonight? Looks like we're in this one for a while now. The gaps have definitely all spread out, so not too much action expected. That being said, Witch-A and McRib reviving their battle from last week. These two drivers going back and forth last week in China for most of the race. Oh! McRib car just did not have any front end grip there. It just did not want to rotate. I looked over to chat. Pablo saying he's about to win 15K because the under is gonna hit, and then I see McRib careening into the wall, and I figured that Pablo curse had hit once again. But McRib lives to fight another day. He has lost that right end plate, I believe. And yeah, look at that. 16% wear on his tires, but that yellow wing on the front right. Not good here in the streets of Singapore to have any sort of aerodynamic damage. Really need that downforce around here. And Steria comfortably in P5 here. Setting fastest lap. Now, race did fizzle out there for a little bit, but we could have yet some battling still on our hands in that heated constructors fight. And 6 or so laps to go. Chipman has a 1.1 second gap. DK Nortec ahead. Orlando is also closing in on the gap to Speedy Bullet. 6.3 seconds is the gap. Speedy Bullet's got to get his head down and really put in some qualifying laps to finish off this race because Orlando is on an absolute charge. Man who looks like he's going to claim the Drivers' Championship here in AM2 this season, looking to promote his team to the Constructors' Champions as well. And he's chopped off a good 2-second gap. And we're winding down into the dying stages of the safety car phase of this race. This is really where fatigue is at its highest after driving this track for so long tonight, with the rain at the start, back in the dry. So much has happened throughout the race. These drivers surely are starting to get tired now, and the risk of safety car has probably slightly increased despite the gaps spreading out a bit more. Chances of incidents on your own are still possible. Look at this helicopter cam going on board. Oh, look at this. Oh my gosh! ASAP Loggy into the wall. He's managed to keep both tires on, pointing that car straight on. But he has chosen to retire on track from this race. It is a big no-no. Gladly, though, for our safety car purposes, it has not pulled that guy out. And that would have been some jinx. So that is 2 DNFs. And you can see some battling here happening as McRib and Witche still fighting it out for that P10 spot, the final points position. Alright, here we go. It is down to the final 5 laps of this contest, and we have some spicy things happening. Orlando has closed in a significant amount of that gap. He's down to 5 seconds behind ZG Speedy, and that is actually not going to need to close all of those 5 seconds. He only needs to close to within 3 seconds of Speedy ahead to claim that win. And moving further back, another battle between McLaren and Sauber is about to ignite between Chipman and DK Nortec. Yet again, Chipman and the Sauber had in a bit of a battle earlier on in the race. That fizzled out for a while, but Chipman has closed back in. DK Nortec played some very solid defense there for his teammate earlier on the race, but a little moment ahead of him unfortunately cost him the position in P2 and a chunk of time. So Orlando now has clear track. DK Nortec also has a clear track, but he's got a McLaren close behind him in his mirrors. Cam is live again now, going into the Singapore sling. And DK Nortec managing that gap pretty well. Actually has pulled away from Chipman now. He kind of just let him get close, teased him a little bit, and now he says, okay, see ya. It's too bad he has lost the heels of Orlando there. You can see just how hard he was pushing just to keep those guys behind. That when he lost Orlando, he just focused on completing the race, it looks like. Speaking of Orlando, this time around, coming across the line, has not made the same inroads as he was once making compared to men in P1. Gap has now just dropped under 5 seconds for Orlando for the first time. Ooh, back up to 5 seconds. So he's flirting with that margin now and really pushing to try to close that gap down. Speedy Bullet is going to have some traffic to clear here. You can see, ooh, that is the battle, I believe, for P10 ahead of him. So Witche and McRib and also the Ghost of Soul Flat Top are all behind, all ahead of Speedy Bullet on track. But Speedy Bullet coming around to lap those gentlemen. They are going to ghost for him, but still can be quite distracting having to battle through some back markers who are all fighting for their own positions respectively in the race. Take a look now with just a few laps to go. Let's take a look at the penalties just to remind everybody of what has gone on in this race. DGG Speedy is one more warning away from a second penalty, which would inevitably put him behind Orlando. So he's right on the brink now. Orlando also right on the brink of his first 3-second time penalty, as is DK Nortec. Hysteria just picked up a 3-second himself there. Chipman on the safer side, only with 1. Plenty can still happen with this race to go. Red Arrow getting another 3-second penalty there as we were talking. And Speedy doing well to extend that gap just back up to 5.6 seconds now. So he's not crumbling under the pressure just yet. He's done a very solid job to keep that gap as big as it is with a few laps to go against that championship leader this season. However, who has not necessarily dominated any races, particularly maybe except for China last week, was the biggest gap we've seen so far. But he has had some pretty consistent results. Started the season off very strong, and yeah, doing very well in that McLaren. Then here we go. 2 laps to go, starting the penultimate tour now. Chipman is within half a second of DK Nortec again, so is he going to put him under a bit of pressure here with 2 to go? See, a lot of that battery is drained out of the Chipman's machine, but he's going to have the advantage of DRS for this lap. Wing surely is coming open now as he flies down the straight, getting closer and closer and closer to that Sauber ahead, but he has not got the advantage enough. 4.6 seconds now is the gap for Orlando. He's really trying to close in that final 2 seconds that he needs. Now, Speedy Bullet has managed to clear that traffic, so that could be why he's lost a little bit of time there. Orlando just getting into the traffic now himself. He's going to have to clear that to close in that extra few seconds to these guys ahead. Alright, here we go. Speedy Bullet is going to start the final lap in the lead with 4.2 seconds behind him to Orlando. It's all to play for here on the final lap. DK Nortec also with half a second behind him to Chipman now starting the final lap. He's going to have a bit of work to do to maintain that final podium position and those crucial championship points for his constructor team. Only 1 point that McLaren behind him. They need any advantage they can gain. With 2 rounds to go, it's going to come down to the final race, surely. And every point is going to matter from here on out. DK Nortec getting a very decent entry. Looks like he's going to have this one covered off out of turn 5. Kink turn 6 now into turn 7. Braking zone. I think he's got that one sealed off from Chipman, and a very good job there. Oh, it's a little wobbly out of 7. And that's going to invite Chipman alongside, and Chipman, his gloves are definitely going to be coming off now. If he gets any chance of a move, he is going to absolutely send it. These gentlemen have been respectful so far, but on the final lap, it is every man for himself, and Orlando is trying to close in that gap. He's down to 4 seconds, 3.9 now. Speedy Bullet is just one final sector to hang on to this win for his team. And DK Nortec is under immense pressure now on the DRS straight. Is Chipman going to have enough of a run? I don't think he is with how short this DRS zone is. And he's not going to have enough room. Jumping back now to the lead. 3.7 seconds is the gap coming through the final quarter. Speedy Bullet drifts it through the final. Is that going to lose him enough time? No, it's not. Orlando does take P2 after all that said and done. And here we go. Battle for P3 coming to line now. 2/10 between the Sauber and the McLaren. And it's Sauber McLaren 1, 2, 3, 4 here in Singapore. You could not have scripted this championship fight for constructors any closer. 1 point between these two teams, and they occupy the top 4 positions here tonight in Singapore. Points going to the favor of the Sauber drivers. Just marginally, though, I would argue. 25 points for Speedy Bullet and 15 points for DK Nortec. That comes out to a grand total of 40 points, while Orlando and Chipman get a grand total of 30 points, I think. So 10-point swing in the favor of Sauber. That is going to put them 9 points ahead of McLaren with 2 rounds to go. McLaren having a very good showing tonight. Orlando from the outside looking in at the start of the race on a track that's very difficult to overtake on. He managed to find his way up to P2 with a very solid performance there. And got to give credit to Speedy and DK Nortec working that team game exceptionally well there through that middle part of the race. As soon as Speedy had that 3-second time penalty, you could see DK Nortec, the wheels turning in that helmet and making the team move to give his teammate a bit of a gap, which was, in the end, necessary because Orlando was only a few tenths of a second away from claiming that win and flipping this Constructors' Championship on its head. I believe that is going to be one hand on the trophy in terms of drivers for Orlando tonight. The 18-point bonus for him really going to come into play. Mr. Bo getting the driver of the day tonight. I believe Stereo is in P5, so very solid there from the Aston Martin driver. He's playing B5, but there we go. Speedy Bullet is coming onto the podium now to take the adoration of the crowd and soak it all in as he hoists the biggest trophy. Congratulations again to Speedy taking another win this season. We've had quite a few drivers getting their maiden wins, but also following it up throughout the rest of the season with a couple more wins. So I believe Sauber, of the most winning teams in AM2 so far this season, him and DK have 2 wins apiece, if I'm not mistaken, maybe more. And with only 12 rounds, 4 wins for one team is pretty solid. There we go. There is your final result. Speedy taking the W in P1, Orlando P2, DK Nortec P3, Chipman P4, Hysteria's P5, Metakestrel P6, Red Arrow in P7, AOP8, FTG, Mr. Boat in P9, Witch 8 is in P10. Rounding out that final points position. And that's going to be it for us tonight here in Singapore. Don't have anybody with me in the booth tonight, fortunately, for co-commentary. And everything's kind of gone a little awry, so we're just going to skip the interviews tonight. Unfortunately, I don't think anybody joined us last time anyways, but yeah, great race to everybody here in AM2. Congratulations to Sauber scoring some decent points. Congratulations again to McLaren having a very solid race as well. We are in for a treat, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to want to see the end of this championship for sure. Tune in next Wednesday and the Wednesday after that for the final 2 rounds. We're off to Great Britain next week. Then we're off to Coda for the season finale. But if you want to catch more contests of speed action, you could do that here tomorrow afternoon for EU1 and tomorrow evening AM1. That's at 9 p.m. Eastern for AM1. and 4 p.m. Eastern for EU1. Yep, thanks everybody for joining us. Great race to everybody in that one tonight. Looking forward to the next one. And yeah, we'll see y'all next time. See ya.
Welcome back to Contest to Speed.
Contest of speed.
Contest of speed.
Contest of speed.
Contest to Speed.
Contest of speed.
Contest of speed.
Contest of speed.